How did you find Bishop Tony Miller? Because we need to let everyone into a secret. Tom, Abby's in love with Bishop Tony Miller, in the, scriptural sense of the word.
Oh, yeah. So I first saw him in person at one event last year.
Yeah.
I think
Did you faint?
I would know, but every time I've watched him, I've cried.
Yeah.
And I obviously, we were all watching it together today, so I thought I need to be a bit more professional. I just love him.
We've got the gig at the after hours, so we're just kind of introducing Tom. So
Yeah.
have you come across Bishop Tony Miller before?
No, I haven't. It was the Ground Level Network that introduced me to Bishop Tony Miller.
Oh, we love him. They're just so much love. It's been so good. And today, so we got a great show coming up.
Absolutely.
We are going to give you a bit of a 10 challenge. Tell us what, give us a bit of a whet the appetite. What's happening tonight in the after hours?
So we've got the brilliant comedian Paul Carenza coming up later. He's written for Miranda. He has written for Top Gear and a whole load of others that you're familiar with. We've also got Ground Level favourite Paul Bell.
Yes, to Paul Bell.
And so looking forward to him as well.
The audience is going crazy. We love Paul Bell. I reckon Paul Bell, we will hear from him later, but I reckon he's been at all 39 Grapevines or One events.
Wow.
I'm going to throw that out. No, maybe he's not that old. We might have stitched it. Abby, how many have you done?
I've got to be honest, I've only been, this is my third one.
Third one?
Yeah, I know.
Third one and she's host. That's pretty impressive.
Not out of choice, I just didn't live here. I didn't even...
She has jumped the hoops. But I'll tell you what, Abby, she's been a phenomenal presenter, hasn't she? So, late night, what would you normally be doing? Abby, in your 3 that you've been to, what's the vibe that you've been?
Well, the first year I was in the Infinite team.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. It was
Big
so
shout
much
for the
fun.
Infinite crew.
Absolutely. Woo-hoo. It was so good. So just fully enriching the whole weekend. I felt like because I gave so much, we got so much as well, being on team. It was incredible. Yeah. And then last year, I would have definitely been at the Evening Authentic. By far.
Yes.
I saw the boy band.
The boy band. I don't want to say who was in the boy band, but yes, it was me.
Yeah.
You might not notice it.
The sunglasses.
Have you heard about the boy band, Tom?
I have. I've seen them. I've seen them live.
Are you feeling in awe of me being part of the boy band?
Absolutely. I'm getting your autograph later, Dan, all right?
Now, am I right in saying that you because a lot of singing, are you a good singer?
Not going to go there, Dan. Not going to go there. Stick to comedy.
Mate, yeah, you're good at that. I harmonise by accident, I get told. I can't clap in time. Abby, you're a singer. Well, Abby actually sings in our worship team.
Yeah, yeah.
Should we go for a few harmonies with me and Tom? Would that be really embarrassing?
No, well, we'll see if it's embarrassing.
Who's up for a bit of... We've got Paul Bell in the background. What do you reckon?
Know. Can help us out,
What can we do?
Could we get a chord and then we could sing to it?
I don't know if that's going to work. Why don't you just lead us a cappella, mate?
Okay.
Let's sing it. What's our favourite worship song?
Has there been a good one sung
that
tonight?
we played at the One event.
Yeah.
You have looked at the album, haven't you?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, I promise. Yeah.
Well, should we just tease everyone with that for someone tonight? Now, we have got to do, Tom, we have got the 10 challenge.
I've heard about this.
You've heard about the challenge. I just need some clarity. Can we still get Tom on for the 10 challenge? Let's have a look around to the audience.
I really hope we can.
Have we got time for this? We are getting some big nods from everyone. So, Stuart and Irene, set the time. What was the time, everybody?
It's 50-something seconds.
53 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So, Abby, do you want to take Tom over
I'll go and
to
find
the
the tent.
arena? And then we're going to do that. I've been told we can't do this, so I presume this is all right. It's everyone shouting in the background, damn, what are you doing? But you might have known, if you're tuning in tonight, we've got the 10 challenge. Speakers, guests are doing the 10 challenge. So they've got to be 53 seconds. And we're going to write them on the leaderboard. So pastors Stuart and Irene Bell are in the lead at the moment. Well, they're the only ones who've done it. So, Abby, are we set up on the 10 challenge?
Ready. We are ready. I'm here. We're here with Tom. So, the challenge is lovely poppable fold-up tent to end up
in the bag.
In its bag. Here.
Okay, I'm on it.
We will time it as well. We'll make sure we get ready. So I'll count you in so we can get ready. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Always going for the scrunch technique. I like it.
I should have joined the circus at this. I would have got a better.
So we have got Stuart and Irene up there in 53 seconds.
They're going to beat me. They're going to win. They're going to win.
Love it, Tom. Oh, he's there. Do you know what? I think he's there.
Can you snap the bars?
Yeah, go on. I'll get it in. Tom.
We're in!
I think he's done it. Oh, my gosh. I think he's got a record. I honestly think we've got a record, Tom. I'll finish it off for you.
I'm not sure. Camera's
we'll
off.
hide it here. He's finished. Completed. Well done, Tom. It's actually Tom Elliott takeover tonight with you.
Oh, good.
Tom Elliott. Can't wait. I'll find out what your time is and I'll get it written up on the board.
Brilliant.
You finished.
Well.
So, we're going to go and find out what you've got in store for us.
I can't wait.
Excited,
We've got some brilliant friends and it's going to be good.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait. Let's go and find out.
Let's do it. Well, friends, it's good to be with you and welcome to The One Show. I've always dreamed of being on The One Show. Can I just check? Where am I looking? Over here, good. I've always dreamed of being on The One Show, albeit the TV version, but still, it's good to be here, delighted to be with you, and I'll be introducing a couple of friends of mine very shortly. But friends, a little bit of interaction to begin with. Over lockdown, it's been difficult for many people, but I wonder, have you had a bit of a lockdown laughter moment? If you have, why don't you get commenting. We're going to read out some later on. But in a minute, I'm going to introduce my friend, Paul Bell. But I thought I'd show you a little something first. Here we go. Now, I'm a comedy magician, friends. So just take this. And what we're going to do, cover it. We're going to do the vanishing glass, friends. The vanishing glass. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. It's gone. Look at that. Brilliant, brilliant. You see, you're loving it. You're loving it. Well, friends, we've got a great little guest now. His name is Paul Bell. He's written some fantastic songs. Paul, are you there?
Here I am. Hello, Tom.
Can
we? Good evening.
Very good. Paul, do I need to go over here? Paul.
Hey.
Tell us a little bit. How's lockdown been for you?
It has been longer than expected. It has been eventful at times and uneventful at times.
Has lockdown inspired any new songs?
Yeah, I earlier on in lockdown, I had a single out called The Birds Still Sing that I wrote in lockdown, and it was just about trusting in God, really, and trying not to worry. God says, consider the birds, and so that was kind of what that song was about. So yeah, it's on YouTube if you want to watch it.
Well, Paul, you're a ground level favourite. There's no doubt about that. So we're really looking forward to your set today. I'll leave you to it. Ladies and gents, Paul Bell.
Hey. Well, good evening, everyone. It's great to be with you. I'd like to dedicate this first song to everyone who's camped at the One event. I'm not dedicating it to day visitors or lightweights, as I sometimes call them in my naughtier moments. This is dedicated to the campers at the One event. I wrote it this afternoon. And it's called You Can Recreate the One Event at Home. It goes like this. You can recreate the one event at home. Stand outside in a field in the rain. Have a row with your wife about who forgot the mallet. Maybe one of you could shout, I thought you put it next to the pegs. But do it quietly as if you've just remembered that your church are all watching you from their own tents. You can recreate the one event at home. Stand outside for 10 minutes in your pajamas before you have a shower. Then randomly adjust the temperature while you're in there. And turn it off while you've still got shampoo in your hair. You can recreate the one event at home. Leave the milk out of the fridge till it's warm and it's almost on the turn. Sniff it twice before saying that'll do. And pour it on your bran flakes and hope for the best. Secretly pray that someone offers you their spare bacon back. You can recreate the one event at home. Make yourself a delicious jacket potato. Then try to cut through that tasty, nutritious skin with a knife that is flimsy and frankly not quite up to the job. Get annoyed with someone you suspect of jumping the queue, but don't say anything because you're at a Christian conference. You can recreate the one event at home. Just before you have lunch, release 20 wasps into your kitchen. FaceTime someone you don't know that well just before you go for a wee, as if you are both approaching a urinal in a shed. Then try to have a deep conversation while you're brushing your teeth. You can recreate the one event at home. Get some teenagers to keep your small children awake until 1 in the morning. Back by letting your own children play at 6:30 a.m. right outside the teenager's tent. You can recreate the one event at home. Though if I'm honest, I wish that we were all together. Still we come with faith and expectancy, united by the Holy Spirit and the internet. Well, thank you very much. So hopefully you're relating to some of that. If you've camped at the One event, some of those might have been your experiences. A wonderful time being at the One event. I love it. As Dan says, I think I've been for every year of my life, and I'm 38 now, so I think that means I've been to 38 of them. I don't really know. It has many happy memories. One of my children may have been conceived on the showground. Who knows? Is that too much information, Dan? It might be too much. Who knows? But anyway, so I'm going to very quickly whip through a song that I will get complaints if I don't do. This is the Biscuit song. And in the comments, if I mention your favourite biscuit, share in the comments. Tell me what you feel about it. Here we go. When I feel the need for biscuits, I reach for my biscuit tin. I gently peel back the lid and I reach right in. Oh yeah. Everyone's having a little sway in the studio at the moment. It's beautiful. I find that it is empty with only crumbs inside. I'll open a new packet, but I just can't decide. I think we've all been there, haven't we, yeah? There's Garibaldi and fig rolls too. Bourbons are tasty but not too good for you. But chocolate digestives are the stuff of dreams. Strangely some prefer the custard creams. Well, there's hobnobs and biscuits of that ilk, the one with the cows on the malted milk. And there's a thought with me that often lingers. I could eat a whole packet of chocolate fingers, of party rings and pink wafers. I must take account. As the name suggests, Jaffa cakes just don't count. The Penguin and the Jacobs Club deserve to be clapped, for these lovely biscuits are individually wrapped. There's something that's always puzzled me, the enduring popularity of the rich tea. There's a biscuit that is loved by all, from babies to codgers, the family favourite, the jammy Dodgers. Here's the last verse, everyone. When my supply is exhausted and my cupboard almost bare, I find my mood is changing to one of despair. Best get myself out there before the shop shuts and buy myself a packet of ginger nuts. Thank you very much. So I always feel more relaxed once the biscuit song's gone well, and it seems to have gone okay tonight. That gig I did at the Diabetics and Gluten Free Association was a tough one for me, but there we go. So I'm going to do a couple more songs for you, and this next one is one about being 4. I don't know if you've ever been 4. I have. It was a long time ago. So this is called I Wish That I Was 4. Oh, I wish that I was 4. I'd get to dress up more. I'd spend more time outdoors. I wouldn't have to pay the bills, and I'd get Calpol when I'm ill. I wish that I was 4. Oh, wish that I was 4. I'd be more self-assured. It would be cute when I snored. We'd be princesses and kings, and you could push me on the swings. Well, I wish that I was 4. We'd play games, you'd let me win. I'd have ketchup with everything. Oh, I wish that I was 4. I'd see no rich, no poor, sit cross-legged on the floor. Silly things would make me laugh. Instead of showers, I'd have baths. I wish that I was 4. Oh, I wish that I was 4. I'd get out of all the chores. I'd be ignorant of wars. But I have long grown past the size when I could have a shoulder ride. So I wish that I was 4. Runny nose, I'd use my sleeve. You'd say it's true, and I'd believe you. You'd explain, I'd understand. I'd get scared, you'd hold my hand. Oh, I wish that I was 4. I might be less mature, but I know that I am yours. So I'll drink from a plastic cup, and I'll not hurry to grow up. I wish that I was 4. Oh, I wish that I was 4. It would be simpler, I'm sure, over cynicism's cure. We'd be quickly reconciled, and I could trust just like a child. Oh, I wish that I was 4. I wish that I was 4. Well, thank you very much. It's been a real treat to sing some songs for you. This is my last one, and it's the first song I've ever written in which I rap. I like to think of myself as an older, less successful, less ginger Ed Sheeran in this song. And I've checked, I am all of those things. So this is a song about the way that I approach a buffet. I think we've all got a system when it comes to the buffet, haven't we? We've all got our tactics that we use. And this is my song about that. It's called Buffet Strategies. It was my new single. It's out yesterday. Download it, stream it, whatever you want to do with it. And here we go. This is Buffet Strategies. Here we are at the wedding, and I don't mean to be rude, but already my attention is turning to food. It's getting late, about 8:15, so excuse me if I'm starting to salivate. My hungry eyes can't help but check out every platter and bowl that's being brought out. My mouth's getting ready for something to chew, because we only got invited to the evening do. The dance floor fills with 8-year-olds. Fernando blasts out on the stereo. Now comes the end of all my waiting and hoping as I hear the DJ say the buffet is now open. I'm poised, ready to spring into action. Once the queue has subsided, to my satisfaction I approach without fear or trepidation, because I know how to handle myself at a reception. Buffet strategies, buffet strategies. These are my buffet strategies. There's 37 verses. Walking up to the table, please don't disturb me. I'm assessing the feast that's been laid out before me. Whatever reactions run through my head, I agree politely, it's a lovely spread. You gotta beware the unsupervised children grabbing handfuls of what's-its, then off they run. Someone's combined the frazzles with the quavers, but when it comes to crisps, you should never mix your flavors. It's worse when they mix up the regular crisps. You never know what will be passing your lips. It's a voyage to the unknown, but never a fun one. Will it be salt and vinegar, cheese and onion, wedges, crisps, chicken nuggets, chips? A moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips, but you can't deny there's no point getting ragey. It feels so good to eat something that's beigey. Buffet strategies, buffet strategies. These are my buffet strategies. My My palms are sweaty, knees weak, plate is heavy. There's hummus on my tie already, so carb heavy. I'm nervous, but on the surface I look calm and ready. Give me something meaty, something green, something bready. Now I'm looking for something spicy to snaffle. Is that a bhaji or maybe a falafel? This is the arena that keeps me coming back, so I always load up on the Indian snacks. Oh yeah. How you handle dips and crudities is up for debate. Should you make your own dip reservoir on your plate, or pre-dip your carrots and pre-dip your celery? Just try a bit to make sure the hummus isn't fizzy. You gotta give these things a little thought. Treat the buffet like a mission or an Olympic sport. Sometimes we all need a little help, but sometimes you gotta help yourself. Let me hear you say, buffet strategies, buffet strategies. You gotta help yourself, y'all. Buffet strategies. Moving as fast as we are able. If only we could use both sides of the table. The atmosphere is still fairly cordial, but uh-oh, who's this having a dawdle? We're all quite patient, but seriously, sheesh, how long does it take to choose a slice of quiche? Could you get a move on? We're starting to get bored. Have you never spread clover on a baguette before? I know it's bad manners to consider overtaking, but can't you see how many people are waiting? There's a reason we don't want you to be slow. Gotta grab a decent pudding before they all go, oh! Buffet strategies, buffet strategies. There's only one slice of cheesecake left. Now I've gone and got myself a tasty coleslaw with a little tater salad. There's nothing I like more. Am I worried that they've run out of forks? No, not for a minute. I brought my own spork. Oh, not for me, the indignity of trying to eat couscous without cutlery. And when it comes to putting the spork, is still your friend. Just flip it round and tuck it to some trifle with a spoon and buffet strategies, buffet strategies. Just flip it round and tuck it to some trifle with a spoon and oh yeah, buffet strategies, buffet strategies. Now seconds are good, but thirds you might regret it. If you're contemplating fourths, you should really forget it. Don't forget the hardest one of the lot. The most important strategy is knowing when to stop. Buffet strategies, buffet strategies. The most important strategy is knowing when to stop. Buffet strategies, buffet strategies. The most important strategy is knowing when to stop. Thanks very much.
So much, Paul.
Thanks, Tom.
Buffet Strategies has got quite a traction on Twitter, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've got merchandise. You can buy a hoodie that says, sheesh, how long does it take to choose a slice of quiche on it? You get that from my website. You've got my own branded sporks that say I brought my own spork on them. And these sound like jokes, but they're actually available. So if you want one, go to my website and check it out, yeah.
Amazing, and I know it did create some debate around what a spork is.
Yeah, well, there's kind of two types of spork, aren't there? There's the kind of spoon that's a bit pointy, that's one type of spork, and there's the other one that is kind of the double-ended fork at one end, spoon at the other end, and that's the kind I was thinking about when I wrote the song, but that's caused a little bit of controversy and a little bit of Twitter debate. It almost went viral, and then petered out last night. But hey.
Well, you can count on One Event to continue bringing you inspiring content, even in the after hours. So thank you, Paul. We'll give you a virtual applause. Thank you very much, Paul. Well, friends, we have Paul Carenza coming up shortly, but a few things to do before then. And I thought I'd better address this, because people always say to me, Tom, can you do a trick with a sock? I say, yes, I can, because I can do a trick with a sock, and it includes a little bit of material like this as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn one sock into a pair. Here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the sock inside this little makeshift bag with the material. We clip our fingers, and here, ladies and gentlemen, we have a pair. Look at that. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on. So, tough crowd. But still, ladies and gents, we have Paul Carenza coming up shortly. Very funny man. But meanwhile, we have been having some comments about lockdown laughter. Alana has been dancing by herself, creating kids' online church, and has found that very funny. Beatrix has had a garden tent flooded in the garden, so that was amusing. But this one tops it all. Rob, 5-year-old son, was climbing on the kitchen counter, fell off, but his shorts got stuck on the counter and therefore was hanging on the counter by his shorts, shouting help. I thought that was the best one that topped them all. Now, friends, one of our prizes has already gone. Well done, Heather, who's claimed the chair. But we do have another prize up for grabs, and that has been won by Anne-Marie Maguire. Anne, if you get in touch in the next 30 minutes until the end of this, you can win either a garden swing, a smoker, or a fire pit. So, Anne, do get in touch for the next 30 minutes, and we can make sure one of those prizes gets to you. Now, do we have Paul Carenza on the line? He's coming. Here we go, Paul Carenza. How you doing, Paul?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Now, Paul, how's lockdown been for you? Because it's rather weird not having gigs.
Yes. This is it. I'm a stand-up comedian, yet the one gig I've had is me sitting down. I'm wearing my slippers. I mean, I've got the jacket on, but for me, it's PJ's time. But you know, other than this, I'm well, thank you. It's lovely to see your smiling face.
Well, Paul, I have to say, in our little community of kind of Christians that do comedy, you are the one that seems to have mastered this kind of online comedy thing. It appears to me, anyway.
Well, you've got to kind of. Well, you don't have to. I was saying you have to adapt. You don't have to. You can try these things and see what happens. It's not for everyone. I'm trying weekly comedy shows and things, but sometimes you realise they're like one-liners I find don't work well because you pause for a laugh and there isn't one. So I've got my little voice box here. Oh, no need. You've got to bring your own laugh sometimes, haven't you? But so, you know, one-liners, I'm retiring for now. Longer stories, maybe. Interactive stuff, great. And that's why it's great to have the YouTube stuff here as well.
I need to get myself one of those machines for live gigs as much as online gigs, right? Has it got an encore button?
It's got a few. It's got the applause. It's very nice. Like a bit of that. It's unfortunate it's got other things. You push the wrong button and before you know it, not so good. Not so good.
Paul, you've also pivoted a little bit, and I know you were doing a little bit of this before lockdown and everything, but you've also pivoted as a podcaster and also BBC radio presenter. How's that going?
The podcast was my lockdown project, if I'm honest. I've been wanting for a while to write a thing about the history of the BBC and broadcasting generally. I thought, now's the time. So I've been doing that. But also, as he said, doing the odd bit. I do the Pause for Thought slot on the Radio 2 breakfast show. And if I'm honest, lockdown has saved me the commute. It used to be the early train. You're standing there on the train with that stuff. Instead, now it's from the wardrobe. So but it's nice. I like to get out there. I like to go and see people. I'd rather have the commute now. I think I want to get out there and have my little Greg's bacon roll afterwards.
Absolutely. Do you throw in a few gags to your Sunday morning slot on BBC?
Again, there's no one there to actually laugh. But then in that sense, it's no different from my normal gigs. So thankfully, I'm not a good comedian. I'm used to years of silence. This is my time, if anything.
Well, that's true. Well, Paul, we're going to hand over to you for your set. And no doubt we're going to enjoy that fully. And we will be laughing and lolling and everything else in the comments of the YouTube. So, Paul, over to you. Paul Carenza, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Applause for Tom Elliott. There we go. That's for you. That's for you, Tom. That's for you. There you go. Well done, sir. Well done. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everyone at this fine one event. It's lovely to be here. Weirdly, though, I mean, you're all there in the studio. You know what? I would have made the effort. I would have driven up the M1. I would have come to Lincolnshire Showground and shared it with you there tonight. Because I've been to your fantastic event before, there in person a few years ago now. I do miss those journeys. I miss those long times on the motorway. But for now, here we are. So I hope you're doing well. Hope your lockdown experience has been going okay. I know we're not technically locked down at the minute, but all of this, whatever this is for you, I hope you're doing all right. A big hello to you if you're still mastering this new technology, whatever this might be. A big hello to you if you've not used cash in 6 months. It's weird, isn't it? A big hello to you if you've stocked too many beans and you're still trying to get through them all. And an even bigger hello to you if your car really needs ticking over and it's been sat on the drive a little bit too long. Gets awkward, doesn't it? I've been reminiscing over not getting nostalgic for train travel. I found one of these. This is my ticket, I think, from the last time I was up at Lincolnshire Showground. It's a return train ticket. And you know what? It's great not get nostalgic about these things, isn't it? Really takes me back. Yeah, that was a joke, by the way. You see, that's when you've got to add the laughs. That's when you've got to add the laugh. No, that's still on button again. Takes me back. It's a return train ticket joke. I won't explain all of them. Anyway, also the other thing is, jokes no longer work. Right, let me explain why. The classic joke, you'd have thought comedy and jokes would just keep on working. Certain jokes, though, have to change and adapt, right? For example, the classics. Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, no one. I've left the delivery on your bin lid and I've done a runner and I've marked the delivery as delivered. It's how they do it nowadays. Okay, why did the chicken cross the road? Social distancing. Doctor, doctor. I feel like a pair of curtains. Oh, no, you need to phone 111 because we're quite busy right now. And if you feel like a pair of curtains, just go to the haberdashers, although they're probably closed. My wife's gone to the West Indies. How? I thought the flights were largely grounded, or you've got to quarantine when you get back. See, that's awkward as well. Jamaica, no, the government did. Okay, how about this? Here's a classic. Englishman, Irishman, and a Scotsman don't meet up because they can barely leave their countries, let alone their own houses. Man walks into a pub. Well, not in the early part of the year, he didn't. It kind of closed for some time. Waiter, waiter, there's a fly in my soup. Oh, no, I'm no longer a waiter. This is no longer a restaurant. It's now turned into a greengrocer's. You know, it's awkward. You've got to adapt your jokes and then just keep on going. We have to keep on trucking, don't we? Have to keep on going. The thing is, comedy will get us through these things. And life will get us. We have to smile. We have to laugh. A special hello to you if you are somewhere on your own, right? I know that it's tricky for many, many people in many, many different ways. I will tell you an honest, true story. I'm a Christian, for a start. Let me just say that. It's nice to say you're a Christian, isn't it? Nice to get a chance to say you're a Christian. Named after those two great names of history, Christ and Ian. I don't know who Ian was. We've forgotten Ian, but thankfully Christ is the start of it all. And when this whole experience first kicked in March, I'm doing the Bible in a year, right? So I was reading my daily Bible reading, and it was Leviticus 14:38. I want to extend this challenge to people on the live chat. Okay, I've got it up here. Leviticus 14. Could anyone find for me Leviticus 14:38 in your translation? Feel free. The other one you can find Leviticus 15:11. Right, those were both in my Bible reading the day that the government essentially shut it all down, right? And if you can see that I was resorting to my Bible for some great wisdom and nuggets of knowledge, and sometimes, yes, it does give it, but sometimes it gives you a great sense of irony and a grounding of a sense of humour. And trust me, Leviticus 14:38, Leviticus 15:11 is probably not the thing to read when the country is going into lockdown, right? Essentially, oh, hello, Julie Hedges. Julie Hedges, I'm going to say a special hello to you on my own watching the one event. Hello to you, Julie Hedges, and to anyone else there watching on the Todd. So Leviticus 14:38, trust me, that's the one about quarantining. And Leviticus 15:11 is about when I think it's the one about when you have to wash your hands many, many times to be cleansed. So that was always encouraging. Nice bit of general, hygiene advice. That's what Leviticus is there for sometimes. What about you? I've got the Bible on my phone, right? Here's my phone here, right? I've got the Bible on my phone, and it's great to have the Bible on your phone, right? Because you get all these different translations, these different versions. It's a marvelous thing. It's great. You can interact with it, and it's a great, great thing, right? However, when I first got the Bible on my phone, I about a day later, I got a notification on my phone saying there is an update available for the Bible. And I'm thinking, typical, the one time that I get it, and they've updated it in some way. I thought, what have they done to it? They found a new book. That's what it's going to be. They've Paul's letter to the Geordies or something like that. But no, it wasn't that, of course. Just this wear a coat. No, it turns out the update they've added, the notification was there to say they've added some functionality to the Bible app. And it turns out what they added, it honestly said on my phone, it said we've now added a save function to the Bible. So you interpret that how you will. I think they meant save some Bible notes, that sort of thing. Other people might interpret that they've offered you some salvation. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So it's great as a Christian to be part of I love doing church events. Normally, in normal time, I go into different churches, I do shows and comedy things, and it's just lovely to see different people in their different types of church as well. I'm well aware we're all from different types of church from all over the country, possibly even all over the world, and I love that. But one of the last churches that I visited in person for a normal type show was a very old, centuries old Anglican church. Lovely, it was a beautiful building, beautiful building. And I said to the vicar, I said, you know what? You have a beautiful wooden old church here. And he said, no. He said, the church isn't the building, it's the people. And I said, yes, that's exactly what I meant. So interpret that how you will. But anyway. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, right? But I want to do a couple of things. First, I'm going to end with something about the Bible. Okay, I'm going to do the entire Bible for you. In case you're one of those things that it's kind of nice to have an overview, isn't it? Sometimes. So I've got a poem for you, which is going to do the entire Bible, start to finish, all the way from Genesis, all the way through to Exodus. To Revelation. We're going to go all the way to the end, right? So start to finish, we do the Bible. It's going to take about 5-7 minutes in a poem form. And that's what I'll be doing for you before we finish about 5 to 11 tonight. But something else I wanted to show you. Let's have a bit of fun with something, right? You can do this at home. You need here we go. Thank you, Paul Whitfield. Before I do the prop thing, Paul Whitfield has said, New Living Translation of the Leviticus verse I was saying. Hello to Paul. The priest will step outside the door and put the house in quarantine for 7 days. So there you go. That was the little bit of Leviticus wisdom waiting for me as I sat down to my Bible reading, just as Boris Johnson shut us all down. So that was, now sometimes you seek the Bible for advice and wisdom and a way to go in life, and sometimes you see it as a bit of grounding and a bit of a reminder that I think that maybe that God has a sense of humour. So speaking of which, here's something you can do at home. All you need is a toilet roll. Hopefully you have one of these. If you haven't got one of these, let us know your address. We'll send you one. Okay, it's rather important. You need to kind of stockpile on these. All right. So you need one of these, right? And this is a do-it-yourself via the webcam. You need a webcam going, right? But you can do a do-it-yourself Bond intro, right? You know the Bond films? They're pretty well known, right? You just need one of these and a webcam. You could do it on a mobile phone if you want as well. Don't do this now. I'm going to show you how to do it, and you can do it tomorrow. Dazzle your friends, that sort of thing. What you do, you get your loo roll, right? Ideally, a full one is always good, right? If it's a used one, hold on to that. You need it for other purposes, right? You put it carefully on the webcam. This is how to do the Bond film opening, right? Okay. You put it on the webcam. You've got to find the webcam. There you go. I think that's about it there. And then you do this, right? You go. Da, 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 da. You know, searchlight thing. Da, 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 da. And if you can, get a little stick man here that you can sort of find. Da, 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 da. And then you can do the turning. And it's nice. You can make your own, basically, Daniel Craig, he's not been making one for quite a while. I think it's time we took over, as far as I'm concerned. I'm a big fan of TV. My wife said to me, turn off the TV, read a book, educate yourself. Do you know any words of Churchill, for example? I said, Churchill? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, no. Oh, yes. It's the Nodding Dog TV insurance advert. I'm sure you're familiar. Listen, I told a couple of things about us here. Right? I'm kind of keeping my voice a bit hushed because we've got 2 kids in the house, right? So my son, he's asleep just up there. So this is more like whispered bedtime stories now, as far as I'm concerned. We've got 2 lovely kids, right? And we thought, biblical names have always been popular, whether you're religious or not, Daniel, Mark, Ruth, Esther. So we've got Herod and Colossians upstairs. They're doing really well. Just to stand out at school, you don't want to be the umpteenth Matthew. So 2 great, but they've reached that point, right? That's not their names. No. We've got Matthew 7, Ruth 9. Those are their favourite Bible chapters. And they've reached the point where they have overtaken us technologically. Now, I'm sure you know what I mean by that. If you've got kids, right, I'm sure you're familiar with this idea that the next generation, they seem to be born knowing more stuff than we do. They can swipe to pinch to zoom, and they know these things, right? Our 7-year-old recently reprogrammed the parental lock on the TV so we can't watch what we want to watch. Now, work that one out for yourself if you can. I can't puzzle it out. It's non-stop CBeebies. It shuts off at 7. We go to bed. That's how it works. We can't be the only ones who've had to wake up the kids to ask them how the TV works. There's a digibox. There's 4 remote controls. It's very confusing. Meanwhile, our 9-year-old, he loves IT at school. Right, his favourite thing at school is IT. Loves it, coding and all of this sort of stuff. And for his birthday, he asked for a book on IT. And I found a book called IT by a bloke called Stephen King. So that's not, he loves clowns and balloons. It's a lovely bedtime read. It's really, really quite nice. So that's not true. I'm well aware. I'm well aware we're all, maybe, are there families still up? It's 11:15 at night. I don't know if there's any families still going. Andy McManus says, our kids have blocked us. Oh dear. I'm impressed, Andy McManus, that you're actually managing to comment on the YouTube channel. It's well done. Applause for you. That's for you, Sunshine. That's for you. Alana Tomlinson, this guy's so much fun. I'm hoping you're talking about me. It's nice to be here. Thank you for that. So there you go. Now, I'm going to do the American Pie for you thing. American Pie, you're thinking, what are you talking about? You promised us the Bible. Yes, I'm doing the Bible and American Pie all at once, right? You're familiar with the song American Pie, yeah? Bye Bye Miss American Pie, Don McLean. Well, what I've done, I put together a version of that that does the Bible, right, from start to finish. But there's a couple of problems with that. One problem with that is we can't play copyrighted, pre-recorded music for you right here, right now, rights reasons. We haven't managed to get hold of Don McLean's lawyers. It's not going to happen. The other thing is American Pie is quite a long song. It's about 8 to 10 minutes. But if you take away the music, you're left with the words. So what I want you to ask you to do is to channel American Pie. Just get that idea in your head of the song American Pie. Just be thinking of it with that in mind as we are going to do the Bible, right? Okay. And it goes something like this, right? A long, long time ago, God created heaven, earth, and firmament. And he created sun and sky, the birds and beasts, a gal, a guy, and everything was perfect. Heaven sent. We should have listened, but we didn't. Ate the fruit that was forbidden, should have begged God's pardon, but he threw us out the garden, and Cain saw Abel full of pride. So Cain committed fratricide, that first whodunits open wide, the day the first man died. So bye, early days of mankind. Old man Noah's in the know about the end being nigh, 'cause God said, go and build an ark to keep dry, then a rainbow will light up the sky, and that tower in Babel's quite high. Now, if you read the book of Genesis, Abe has faith in God, who then insists that it's circumcision time. And old Abe believes he'll have a son, even though his wife is 91 and Sodom and Gomorrah, they're no-goes. So Isaac's born, God says, sacrifice. Abe jumps to it in a thrice. An angel shouts, no, wait. You've proven you've got faith. So Jacob has 12 sons, but dotes on dream boy Joseph, whom he gives a goat, and a coat, not a goat, and Joseph saves his brother's goat the day the crops all die. There were 12 tribes. Bye-bye, Israelites are enslaved. Thrown young Moses in the Nile, but thankfully he was saved. The burning bush, and God sends Pharaoh 10 plagues. Let my people go from Egypt, says he. And that's when he parts the Red Sea. So for 40 years, they wandered promising lands, and God gave Moses 10 commands. Joshua rose as Moses passed. At Jericho, he needs someone to blab, so he tries to make them go to Rahab. And the walls fall at the trumpet blast. There are judges like Deborah, and Gideon fights pretty much on his own, all the Midianites, and Samson's met a Begaliah, a wah, Delilah. So while Ruth's the daughter-in-law most loyal, the judges decline, the people want a royal. Samuel anoints the first king Saul, who faces Philistines, but he forgot God, and my, that Goliath's a giant. That young shepherd known as David finds his slingshot reliant. David's king unites the country defiant. His son Solomon's a royal most wise, builds a temple, has 700 wives. So Israel is frail, ruled by Jeroboam. Judah splits off, ruled by Rehoboam. Elijah tests Baal and rises up. A giant whale swallows up Jonah. The Jews are exiled down to Babylonia. Then there's Esther, and don't give up your day, Job. You get the idea. There's half-time wisdom from David's Psalms, while Solomon's proverbial message calms. There's a time for Ecclesiastes, and Song of Songs is 50 Shades of Grace. Careful. While Isaiah prophesies Messiah, there are lamentations from Jeremiah, and repent nation, says Zephaniah, and then Jerusalem fell. They sacked the temple, and Haggai did some prophesying. Zechariah, Joel, and Amos longed for living in Zion. That good old Daniel dodged a big hungry lion. Malachi said, soon the day of the Lord. And in the beginning was the Word. We're over halfway, you'll be pleased to know. So Joe and Mary go to Bethlehem, have a wondrous baby, meet a few wise men. Now's the time to start again. So come on, John be nimble, John baptize. Jesus ain't tempted by the devil's lies. He's gone fishing for a dozen friends. Oh, and as they watch him on the mount, he feeds more folks than they could count. He raises Jairus' daughter, and he even walks on water. He says to love our neighbour, turn the other cheek. Watch for planks in eyes, and blessed are the meek. Triumphal donkey riding starts that week when he knows he's going to die. The Pharisees said, bye-bye, gonna crucify. Old Pontius had no conscience, so he ended the trial. Them good old boys communed with bread and red wine, hearing, this will be the day that I die. And on that cross he looks up and asks why. I met a man called King of Jews, and he returned with such good news, a rolling stone, an empty grave. And some went to that sacred place where they saw him risen face to face. He ascended, and the Spirit came to stay. And in Damascus, Paul found Jesus, taught grace to Romans and Ephesians. Corinthians learned, love's patient. And it's not about laws, Galatians. And James said, live well, do not boast. And the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, well, Paul and Peter kept them close. And then those martyrs died. But the church learnt, love, said in 1, 2, 3 John. Hey Jude, don't be afraid, slave saved in Philemon. And good old John concludes his revelation, saying, let me tell of visions I glimpsed. His postscript is post-apocalypse. Last verse, you've been very patient. Bible ends in new earth and heaven. There'll be 7 seals and 7 bowls and trumpets. Yep, 7. And the good book ends. Oh, he is coming again. The grace of Jesus be with you. Amen. Amen. That's the Bible. That's American Pie. The American Bible is what I call it. American Bible. You can, if you Google American Bible, I've put it online as that. So thanks for that. Pontius and Conscience, says Fran Hill. Hello, Fran Hill. How are you doing? That's probably the only time Pontius and Conscience have ever been attempted to rhyme. They don't fully rhyme. I've realised the problem with the YouTube. Now we can analyse the song in every detail. That is a dangerous. We can do that indeed. So thanks and lovely. Oh, it's nice to have the comment. It's like actually having an audience, except that I can't actually see you, but I see your names and it whizzes past the screen. It's like everyone is. It's like polite hecklers. Do you know? I've done enough gigs. I've done 20 years of stand-up comedy, right, and another 15 years of comedy writing, or whatever. And normally, I've done every sort. You get hecklers. You do get hecklers, right? I don't mind a good heckler. I will say that. I don't mind a good heckler. But the bad, you don't want a bad heckler. That's the way it goes. I'll tell you the weirdest gig I've ever had. I mean, this is fairly weird. But I have done a gig once to, guess how many people? The fewest number of audience members at a regular gig? 0 people. Right? I have once done a gig to 0 people. And the promoter made me go on anyway. To literally no one. And I said to him, look, mate, it's you and me. That's just a conversation. He said, oh, no, don't get me wrong. I'm going to go as well. And I thought, that's not going to work. And he explained it and it made sense. He said, no, it's an art centre. He said, they're all in the pub next door. We share a wall with the pub. And he said, this happens every month. You need to go on stage and start. I'm going to go and usher the audience in, but they're not going to finish their drinks until they've heard that the show has started. It's just their way around here. I thought their way needs to change, but still I wanted the 20 quid. So I went on stage and I started doing 20 minutes of material to literally no one, just the moose head on the wall. It's me doing my sort of compere kind of banter. So, nice to meet you, Mr. Moose. Awkward. Eventually, we had a bit of a show. We had a handful of people, 3 people came in from the pub next door, and we had the show. And the promoter said to me, he said, look, you've got to do the show to 3 people. Make sure you plug the disco. I said, there's only 3 of them. There's no disco here, my friend. But I did my job. I plugged the disco. And the DJ, he pressed the song on the play for the first song of the disco as the last person left the room. And the song that played, Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody. So just me and him, we had a little dance. Quite nice. Speaking of songs that are or aren't inappropriate, right? So I'm married, which is a great, lovely thing to be. And it's great, isn't it, when you get married, right? And you get that chance to be part of that wedding planning process. And I don't know about you, right? My wife and I, we got it together. We got to plan the entire... Well, no, she did most of the planning. She ran things past me. That's all it was, right? The one thing she let me do was the first dance. I thought, I can plan the first dance, right? She said, any song, you can pick a ballad from the 80s, that would be marvellous, and we will dance to it. That's our first dance. Any ballad from the 80s. And I chose a lovely ballad from the 80s, from U2, called I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. Not recommended. Not good for weddings. Okay, not good for the weddings. So, you know, you get away with it. Hey, speaking of which, in the words of my ex-girlfriend, I'm going to leave you shortly. I hope we can still be friends. I will tell you this before I go. This has been, of course, a strange and unsettling time, of course. I normally do 3 gigs a week. I've done 2 this year, and one of them, I'm literally here in my slippers, which is very nice indeed. But you do. When I started out with like Jason Manford, right? He's a great comedian and a lovely guy as well. Let me tell you this, right, before we finish. A couple of years ago now, Jason Manford was running late for his theatre show. And he phoned the venue, said, run about an hour late. I'll buy a round of drinks for everybody there. And it cost him £4,000, right? And he paid it gladly, paid the bar bill. The audience all got a round of drinks. And he went on and did this big theatre show. And it all went very well, an hour late. About a week later, I was running late for a gig. I thought, you know what? I'm going to channel what Jason would have done here. And I phoned the vid. I said, I'm running about an hour late. I'll buy a round of drinks for everybody there. £4.50 that cost me. Luckily for me, they both had a half. So that was handy. Then again, my parents always do. So it's the way of it, isn't it? I've got to add the laughter. No one else will. So listen, it's been lovely. You folk, you've been a lovely audience. Probably. I mean, I can't tell, but no, your comments here, I can see them have been lovely, and thank you for that. I'm doing a regular show every Tuesday evening, if you like this sort of thing. Every Tuesday evening on my Facebook Live page, I'm doing more of them, and we've got a nice little community there, little gang, we have a little quiz and a laugh and that sort of thing. But wherever you find your laughs and your joy and your community, keep reaching out, keep finding it, keep laughing, and we will see you when we can do all this again in person. It's a marvellous thing. I'm going to hand you back to Mr. Tom Elliott, my good friend. Hello, Tom. Over to you, sunshine.
Paul, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I told you, friends, he's a master at this online thing, right? I mean, it's just good, isn't it? Paul, how was the gig?
Do you know what, Tom? It's like, just a minute on Radio 4 when you've got to speak for a minute without pausing, hesitating, whatever the other word for hesitating is. It's a bit like that for 20 minutes because you think, if I pause, what happens? People switch off. You can't do that. You've just got to keep going. Think of a next joke, quick. No pressure. But no, good fun and a joy to be part of something like this. So well done to the One Event for just keeping on going and making this happen in a new way. And all power to you.
Absolutely. Paul, thank you ever so much. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Paul.
Will do.
Well, friends, just to say before we wrap up and before I hand back to your wonderful hosts here, just to say that Anne-Marie Maguire has been in touch and she has claimed the fire pit. So another congratulations to Anne-Marie Maguire. I hope you enjoy your fire pit as we approach the evenings where you might not be able to use it. But still, I hope you enjoy it. Have fun. Well, friends, that's it from me, I think. I'm going to hand over to you guys.
Oh, yes. Come on. Big shout out for Tom Elliott. How good was that? You are brilliant. Thank you so much for all your input. Have you enjoyed being with us?
I have. And if anyone's got contacts with the TV One show, I'd happily become a presenter, all right? 400,000 a year. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Is that all they get? That's like our wages, Abs, isn't it?
Yeah. TA wage is great.
Hey, talk to us about the One Show. How have you enjoyed it tonight, Abs?
Loved it. Yeah, he's so funny. I thought, I have a buffet strategy.
Come on, share. Who wants to know Abby's buffet? Come on, Abs, tell us your buffet strategy.
I love food. So there's all the people, like whenever there's a buffet, there's like the table and everyone's all like awkwardly like, oh, you're going to go. And I'm literally like, yes, I'm getting the food. And I'm just the first there. But then it means I get everything, all the good stuff.
So do you dabble with the quiches, pickled onions?
Everything.
Talk me through it. What would you go to first? Tom, what would you go to first in a buffet?
Well, it depends. So my top three are quiche, pineapple and cheese sticks.
Yeah.
Love those things,
Gold.
right? Or a potato salad. That's the one. I love a bit of potato salad.
Mate, that's random, the quiche thing, because Christians get associated with quiche. I don't think you're the first person that actually likes quiche that I know.
I do like quiche. Quiche and a bit of bread with a bit of potato salad.
Oh, he's in heaven.
Is there a buffet here?
Abs? What would you go for?
My mum likes quiche. Does that count? I definitely go cheese. I'm all about the cheese.
Yeah.
Different types of cheeses.
Yeah.
I like pickled onions. I could be socially distanced if I ate the pickled onions, because,
I know what you mean, because like the old face masks have been a bit of a trouble, haven't they? Has anyone else realised in this lockdown that as you have a face mask, actually, if you have had something to eat that you shouldn't have, your breath can be quite...
You know it. You do find out.
100%. Oh, we've had such a good time. Thank you so much again, Tom. You're
My
a
pleasure.
diamond.
My pleasure.
Thank you. We love it. Coming up, your second appearance at the One Event. We appreciate you. God bless you on your safe travels. And thank you to Paul.
Or lack of.
Yeah, oh yeah. Sorry, I meant going home. I did the next thing. Big shout out to Paul Bell and Paul Carenza as well. Come on, let's have a big round here. Studio audience for that. Abs, what have we got coming up?
Yeah, obviously, I can't believe we managed to pack all of that into one, not even
nice.
a whole day.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So we are going to carry on tomorrow. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be jam-packed, just like today. We're starting off with our 7:30 breakfast show with Jo Hargreaves.
Oh, she's a beauty, my wife.
Yes, I was waiting for that. She is amazing, though. She's beautiful. And she's going to be doing prayer and liturgy, followed by an 8 a.m. Bible study with Elizabeth Darley and the next kids session. So today, I was really lucky to read that story on the power of courage. And tomorrow, they are doing the power of faith.
Abby, I thought you were better than, like, I'm in that stage. My kids are like 7 and 4, and they watch Milkshake. You were better presenter than the Milkshake presenters on Channel 5. Would we agree? How good has Abby been? And Katie and Lois and all our presenters.
Such a good team. And you.
Wow. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you. I've had abuse from my shirt from Mr. Matthew Loss, but we won't say anything too much about that. We'll get him later. But we hope that you've connected with God and with everything that's been going on all throughout the day. Loads more, as Abs has said. We've got big top speakers at Ann Calver in the morning and the wonderful Pastor Stuart Bell bringing the word, and we love it to hear the word of God from Stuart. So loads happening. God bless you. Sleep well tonight. Keep the comments flowing, as we say, like milk and honey, Abs, don't we? And God bless you. Good night. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a great night.